My name's Janet. When I was 32, I had my first hearing aids. And right from the start, I would say things sounded very unnatural. Certain things were quite uncomfortable, like a tap running or kettle boiling. It was very loud. Anyway, about 5 years on from then, my hearing dropped suddenly for no reason, and gradually over the years it just deteriorated. So the audiologist that I was seeing said I had to think about having a cochlear implant. Well, I really didn't want one. I found that quite frightening, to be honest. And then I managed about another 10 years, but by then I was really hard work, and I was relying on friends and family to keep me up to date with the conversations. I was really quite a nightmare, I think. But I went to the audiologist where they adjusted my hearing aids, and they were always really, really good. And I said to him, I'm really struggling with conversations. Can you please adjust my hearing aids? And he said, I really can't do any more for you. That's it. That's all I can do. You need to have cochlear implant. And I felt devastated, and I wasn't sure if he was actually being truthful because I could still hear noises, I could hear voices, but I couldn't, there was no clarity. So I got an appointment to come about the implant, and I said to my husband on the way over, please don't try and persuade me. I found that, quite a worry. So that first appointment that I had, I think I almost did a U-turn. Everybody seemed to understand what I was saying. They were very encouraging, and they said that they were very hopeful that I would hear much better with an implant. So I had to have other assessments and what have you, and it all started going ahead, and in the end I was quite looking forward to it. I can hear now all sorts of things that I hadn't heard for years, and I'm not sure how many years, but a long time. I can hear bird song, smoke alarm, the doorbell, and even with hearing aids, I just didn't get any of that. So everything is such an improvement, and it's much easier for me to sit with somebody and talk to them, because before I was getting some sound, but I was really basically lip reading, and now I actually hear. It's really quite amazing. When they first switched on, I was expecting the sounds to be unnatural, robotic, or they said Donald Duckish or anything. They couldn't say how it would sound. And so when she did switch on, her voice was like electronic beeps, but the beeps were going with her voice. It was obviously, I was getting her voice as beeps, but it was all the same tone. Everything was the same tone. She asked my husband to speak to me, and he sounded exactly the same, which I found quite amusing. It was the same pitch, by the time she just kept asking me questions and was obviously making adjustments. And by the end of that first session, she banged a drum, and it actually sounded like a drum. And so I felt then it was really, I was okay. By the time I got home, my husband was actually sounding pretty good. It was more like a voice than beeps. It changed, but every sound that was new seemed a bit weird, and gradually, like if I turned a tap on, it sounded most peculiar. But as it was sort of running, it was changing, and everything started to sound natural, and gradually all the sounds that I was hearing that I hadn't heard for a long, long time were sounding, really good, and nothing sounds uncomfortable, or I can hear like the pedestrian crossing noise. So I think, all in all, it's just been really great. So I think my life is just easier now and less stressful. I would miss it. I'm just very grateful in the mornings when I switch it on and can hear anything.